She just corners him in a Moroccan shower. And
they fucking go to town. They go literally to town.
Within 15 seconds of Dean Cain being like, I gotta find my wife and daughter.
My family. I miss them so much. Let's fuck. Hello and welcome back to the 117th episode of Good Bad the show. We watch terrible movies and tell you if you should too. Your host, Mr. Brian Shilgo. Other host, Mr. Kyle Hinton. Kyle, we're not doing a full-blown Dean-cember because I found a cherry of a Christmas movie for our Christmas special that does not star Dean Cain.
You found a trip.
Yeah, literally. We'll talk about it in 2 weeks' time. But until that time, we do have a Dean Cain extravaganza.
Dean-cember is here.
Yes, and we have. It's called post-impact.
So, a comet hit Earth?
A meteor hits Earth. So this is a 2004 film.
Yeah.
It's directed by a guy named Christopher Shrew, and I looked this guy up, and he actually, and I don't think it's a terribly directed film in general, but this guy actually went on to do like lots of big TV. He like directed Mr. Robot, Fear the Walking Dead, the new Snowpiercer series. Like he's gone on to do.
Snowpiercer makes sense with
with this movie,
tone, especially the tone and tenor.
In the final days of the freeze, the rich, many of them responsible, retreated to Snowpiercer.
Yeah, definitely sort of that post-apocalyptic, snowy environment. Yeah. It totally makes sense for his calling back to his post-impact days, but working with a slightly better budget on Snowpiercer, I have to imagine.
Yeah, I will say that the version we watched of it, the intermediate like that they were using to get it to digital was not like. It wasn't super good. This is when intermediate media was very new.
Yes.
There's a lot of spongy film material throughout.
Yes. It's not a very pretty the version we watched. Now I don't know. It was on.
I don't think you're gonna find much of a difference because this was at a point where they were like they had it on film. It was shot on film and then they processed it over to digital and it's just like. Now it just looks like there's a fucking saran filter all over the damn thing.
Yeah. So the movie is very clearly it came out like the year or after the day after tomorrow or whatever.
The same year, I think.
Yeah, like the same year.
Yeah.
So I think they're very much going to capitalize on.
Close the door!
It's called The Day After Tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one with Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah. And
we will. I think we're gonna do Day After Tomorrow eventually because it's really fucking stupid.
I saw that like when it came out, and I haven't seen it since, and I don't remember anything about it other than Jake Gyllenhaal is in it.
Keep your experience fresh if we do it.
And so, but they're the same kind of thing where it's post-apocalyptic. Oh, everything's frozen. Survival, like figuring out what's going on type movie. So in this one, though, in that one, it's like just like climate change run amok. In this one, a meteor hits Earth.
And it causes like almost
a nuclear winter type of thing. Yeah, which is like the same thing that killed the dinosaurs, I believe.
Fallout, everything. It's cloudy. It's super cold.
Yeah, and the climate is all shifted all over the world. It's like snowing in Africa and stuff like that. Like in where they're we'll talk about the confusing geometry and setting of this movie that was really messing with my head here shortly. But we're at this the United Nations or something like that.
U.S. Embassy in Berlin.
Berlin. And Dean Cain is the head of security here. Captain Tom Parker. What a name. And this is still back when Dean Cain was like could do action movies.
Yeah.
Like this is right at the end, this isn't too far removed from this whatever the Lewis and Clark or Lois and
Lois
and Clark, not Lewis and Clark. Different TV show. That would be a fun one though. It's just a shot. It is Lois and Clark, except
Clark has Superman logo.
Yeah, and they're like exploring the Mississippi River or the Missouri River or whatever, going up the river. Yeah, that'd be fun. Anyways, so he can still do action, and he still pulls off action star at this point in his career. He's not puffy Christmas movie.
Hey,
Dean Cain.
we get Dean Cain shirtless at one point in this movie, and he
still looks fine. Got it. Looks fine. Yeah. And so he's the head of security he's like in the military police, I guess, essentially, because he said he was in the military. He's captain. And they're having this party to celebrate this meteor that's making its closest pass to Earth ever, that was discovered by this scientist and his team who's at the embassy with them in Berlin. And I can't remember this guy's name, but he's important.
The idea, not to get too much into science stuff.
This is always a mistake. Always a mistake.
I know. But the idea,
where I put a disclaimer
that they're able to track a meteor like that from that distance, and it passes within their fucking lifetime.
Every 350,000 years, the comet Bay Letter 7 passes Earth so closely it can be seen with the naked eye.
Considering the technology they have, that's shocking.
No, it's not. We could do that. What are you talking about?
But you think we could find a meteor or a comet that's out right now that's going to make a pass that's been completely undiscovered for the past 200 plus years of astronomy?
We find that shit all the time, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but we find that kind of shit all the time. We're like, oh shit, there's a meteor we didn't know about, or a comet or whatever we didn't know about. I could be completely wrong, because again, neither of us are fucking scientists.
No.
But
I just find it weird how we're tracking stuff 70, 50, 30 years out, and they're like, yeah, this one's coming by in like 2 weeks.
They didn't say how long ago they discovered it, to be fair. And
I'll give them that.
Yeah, they could have found it years ago. They never talk about that specific thing. But anyways,
I'll submit my resignation to NASA.
They get it, and they're like, you never.
What?
Who are you?
There's just no way that we could keep you on.
I don't even really work here.
That's what makes this so difficult.
Fine, you can resign, you weirdo. So Dean Cain comes out to talk because the doctor and his daughter, Anna, I believe is her name, are out on the balcony looking at the comet as it's preparing to pass. And we see it in the sky. They keep calling it a meteor comet, whatever. And Dean Cain comes out to like check and make sure they're not up to no good or whatever, because he's security, and he's talking to him. And I love in this scene, Anna, the daughter, who is also like a scientist or something like that. She is thirsting at Dean Cain hard in this scene.
He's Dean Cain.
Every shot they cut to her, she's just like, looking at Dean Cain. It's like, ma'am, I need you to calm yourself. So then he gets an the doctor though, or the scientist guy gets an emergency alert. He's like, I gotta go to the lab, and he goes to the lab, which is I love the interior of this lab. It looks like an extra leftover set from like Babylon 5 or something. Yeah. It's like a spaceship lab,
or like a 007 villain lair.
Yeah. It's got all this weird lighting on the walls, and like it's got big computer consoles that are like, again, it looks like something from a low budget sci-fi TV show.
Are we supposed to suspect that this is below the U.S. Embassy in Berlin?
Very near it, at least, if not...
Because like they have U.S. military officials there.
Yeah, it's very close to the embassy, if not below it. I'm not sure, because he just kind of gets there immediately.
That and the colonel or whatever other dude.
Yeah, well, there's the colonel who's like his Tom Parker's like a guy above him or whatever. And then there's also... the other guy who I forgot about until the end of the movie, and I was like, I was supposed to remember him.
Whenever he showed up, I was like, who the hell is this?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I literally had to pause the movie, go to IMDb, look at him, and be like, oh, that guy. Okay, great. That guy was in this movie for 30 seconds before he disappeared. But he goes in, and this is where we're introduced to that guy, the other scientist guy who works with this doctor, and he's like really upset about whatever. I don't know. But now they found out that the meteor is going to hit Earth.
Oh, no.
It got hit by something, and it knocked it off course, and now it's going to hit Earth.
It looks like an in-space collision with an uncharted asteroid. Hit it hard enough to push it off course.
Whatever this is history.
Yeah.
They try to blow it up with a laser, but that doesn't work. Or a microwave. They have a microwave satellite that they use to blow it up, and it doesn't work.
You gotta shoot a nuke at it. I mean,
have you guys not seen Armageddon? This is 5 years post Armageddon. Get Ben Affleck in a rocket and send his ass up there. But yeah, so they're not able to divert it, and it hits Earth. And I also thought it was interesting that it cuts from that, them finding out. They're like, get me on the horn with all of the government leaders in the entire world. And then it cuts from that to Dean Cain showing up at his house like, we got to get out of here. It's like,
Get Nas along with every government in the Western Hemisphere on the line. I shall call Colonel Waters.
Honey? Honey?
Did they just tell Dean Cain? Like, how did he find out so fast? Because they said it was 45 minutes.
No, I thought it was 48 hours.
Oh, maybe it is 48 hours. I thought it was 45 minutes. Maybe I misheard that.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that would make more sense. Because I was like, 45 minutes is not enough time to get, okay, whatever. But they think this thing's going to hit somewhere near Russia or in Europe, basically. But Dean Cain gets home and like he's like, we got to get out of here. We're gonna go south because it's gonna hit in the northern part. Let's get out of here. And him and his wife and daughter, they get out, and he's trying to get to a plane to get. They're evacuating.
Yeah.
The U.S. government is evacuating all like the U.S. citizens. It sounds like, according to the news guy or something.
At this base alone, no less than 50 C-17 and C-130 aircraft have been sent to cities like Copenhagen, Oslo, and Berlin to evacuate American personnel.
And they're trying to get out, and the colonel is like, Dean Cain, we need you on this plane.
We need you keeping these people calm. And then they shut the door on Dean Cain, whose wife and child is still outside. And smart move, hit your superior officer. But then they're like, they're holding him hostage.
Yeah,
now?
it makes no sense.
Why?
He gets on the plane, and they're like, we need your help, like, getting people in their seats or whatever. And it's like, you have a bunch of other people. Sure, Dean Cain is specifically needed for that.
Yeah.
Dean Cain gets on the plane, and he's, like, helping people get organized. And then they shut the door. Like, he's standing by the door. They shut the door, and they go, we're leaving. And he's like, no, let me off. And they're like, nope, too late. It's like, you just shut the, like, you're not moving. You could just let him off. There's no reason. And then it turns into this weird, like, hostage situation, like you said, for no reason. It's like, just let him off the fucking plane.
Come with us as a prisoner or as a passenger.
Yeah.
Now, you're coming on this plane either as a passenger or a corpse. It's your choice.
I was like, what? Why?
I don't understand. Yeah, there's a lot of that kind of like jumps in logic that this movie is like, they're gonna. I mean, I love that he does like kick him in the nuts when he tries to take his gun. He's like, blam.
Now, you sit down. That's an order.
But then also this whole time as this is happening, we're getting cut-in shots of the meteor, and it's like it's in the atmosphere. Well, it looks terrible, but it's also already in the atmosphere, which means it would hit in like mere seconds or minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, whatever.
But it needs to be like 2012 with John Cusack or whatever, where they got to get out just in time.
Just in time, but because their budget is shit, we don't get any like cool shots of like them outrunning explosions.
3 years later,
yeah, it literally just cuts. And my favorite thing too is that we get a show like, so he left his wife and daughter like on the tarmac basically, and he was gonna get on the plane with them. And as his plane they see him get on the plane, and then they see the plane fly away. His wife is completely nonplussed by this. She's just like, oh, okay. I guess you're all right. Like, she doesn't seem upset at all that her husband just like abandoned her while a meteor is about to hit the fucking continent they're on. She's just like, well, I guess that's that.
But now it's 3 years later, and they're in Morocco.
Yes.
They're in was it specifically Casablanca?
Tangiers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's at the Strait of Gibraltar, isn't it?
I have no. It's very northern part. I don't know.
Anyways.
Yeah, I'm not a geography
The point
major.
being is now there's a new nation called the
New United Northern States. Nuns. It's called Nuns. And here's what confused me, because it says Tangiers. It says like Morocco, and it says Tangiers or whatever. And then it says New United Northern States. And it's like a Capitol building. Mm-hmm. And I thought they were showing us different places around the world. Yeah. And then we were jumping to America.
Yeah, exactly.
And the New United Northern States, there was like a civil war or something. But it's not that, which was very confusing to me.
Considering when this was written and the people it was written by, just because like this just feels like something they would write, they would go, "What's nuns? None your business."
I was like, who came up with nuns and thought that was a good acronym or for their fucking their like country or whatever? And I was like, you know what, they should have had another section that was the New United hold on, I wrote it down. New United Delegation of Eastern States. Nudes, Kyle.
Okay. I was thinking of
damn it.
I was
Fuck
thinking
you.
of.
Fuck you. Fuck you, Kyle.
They got a military thing going on. They're like, get us the nudes.
Get him the nudes. The nudes are invading.
My brain stopped functioning.
Yeah, it's all right. We all have those times. It wasn't very good. And then we get a shot of a plane being microwaved. Yeah. There's just random people on a plane. We don't know. They're like soldiers or something going to do something. And they get microwave beamed. Again, this thing's kind of like, isn't this the plot from, is it one of the James Bond movies?
Oh,
where they microwave people, right?
Yeah.
It's the one with the girl from the woman from Starship Troopers who plays
Denise
Christmas Jones. Yeah. What is that? Which one is that? World.
I think it's not.
World's Not Enough.
It's not World's Not Enough. I think it's Tomorrow Never Dies.
No, Tomorrow Never Dies.
No,
is
that's
the news
Halle
one.
Berry, right?
And that's no. World's Not Enough is Halle Berry. Tomorrow Never Dies is the news one, I think, where it's like the guy's making the news or whatever.
Goldeneye, World's Not Enough, Tomorrow Never Dies, Die Another Day.
Die Another Day? No, that's not a Pierce Brosnan one, is it?
It was, yeah.
Is it? Maybe it's Die Another Day.
Because there's 4 Pierce Brosnans.
Die Another Day. I'm looking it up. Nope, that's the Halle Berry one.
No, the Halle Berry one is that one because remember they're in the Arctic and they shoot the fucking space
and then
laser
and then he
surfs the tsunami.
Is Denise Richards also? Isn't that
no? I'm pretty sure Denise Richards is the news one.
No, that's the World Is Not Enough. Is the boy? I have not seen.
We are all over the place.
I have not seen any of these since they came out. Denise Richards is in The World Is Not Enough.
Okay,
and that's one. I don't know what that one is.
That's also the one.
Oh, that's the one with nuclear bombs.
Yeah,
and
stuff,
and
they also have the thing in space, right? At one point. Isn't that where and the
they all run together? They're all
what is his name? Robert Carlyle? Isn't that the villain dude?
I have no idea.
Whatever.
I have no idea.
It's ridiculous. But anyways, space laser,
James
microwave
Bond.
laser.
It's the same thing as that. Whichever one of those movies has the space. Yeah, right. It is the one where he surfs because they melt the glacier that he's on. And yes, so same thing here. Oh, that was a long trip for not a lot of information.
Just tells us our brains are literally just dissolving within our skulls.
So we find out that bad guys took over the controls for this microwave satellite, which are in Berlin in that same bunker. And they're using it to like start a war or something. We don't know. We don't know exactly what their goal is yet.
But Brian, wouldn't you have to wait for the satellite to get into position?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, do you? I mean, do they? The thing just moves and shoots it whatever the fuck they want whenever. This movie doesn't care about shit like that at all. We jump to the government guys are getting Colonel is getting Anna, the daughter of the doctor, to come help them go to the microwave base so they can.
Because she was also on the project.
Yes, and I guess that they need her for some reason, even though it seems like a military operation, but they need her, I guess, to do something with the microwave when they get there. But then they also recruit Dean Cain.
Dean Cain has been on 8 expeditions to get back to Berlin
because his family.
Because his family's there. He's a very dedicated family man, Brian.
Yes,
very dedicated.
Very dedicated family man. Oh, whoopsie! I'm fucking random women in showers. Whoops. Oopsie daisy.
Yeah, so they're about ready to go, and the second in command, who is
he also has a beard and a dog now. He's really very dashing.
but they're about ready to go off, and the second in command, who is
I don't even know her name. I don't know if they ever
SAS
said it
at one point
or something. She's like his she's under the colonel, but like is his kind of commanding officer in this.
Yeah, and then she just corners him in a Moroccan shower. And
they fucking go to town. They go literally to town.
Within 15 seconds of Dean Cain being like, I gotta find my wife and daughter.
My family. I miss them so much. Let's fuck. It's amazing. It's amazing. It is truly fantastic. Yeah, for somebody whose whole life mission in this movie is finding his wife and daughter, he's sure fucking just like, and all the women are trying to get with him, and it's just like, all right, whatever. I also, every time they did an establishing shot of like this Capitol building, I was getting really hard Battlefield Earth vibes of the like they kept showing like the Capitol or the White House or whatever, and it's all like dilapidated.
Yeah, was it the Colorado State Capitol?
Yeah,
where they find all the information.
Yeah.
Good Lord, why do I know that about that movie? Get that movie out of my brain.
I don't know. I don't like it though.
What? What?
The DP. Oh, and as I thought, this is so funny. The movie tries to do like a weird match cut. There from the scene where they're fucking in the shower. They cut it hard cuts to the Colonel drinking some whiskey or something, and he goes,
That was good.
Good stuff. And I think they were trying to, I think the idea was to match cut like them moaning having sex to him moaning drinking, but it doesn't really work. He's just like, good stuff. And it comes out of nowhere. And you're like, what just happened? What? It's so weird. So they end up, they're flying from Morocco to Berlin. They pass over Paris. We see the Eiffel Tower's all fucked. And then this movie turns into Aliens.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now?
Literally, this movie becomes Aliens because they drop from their plane in like these weird tanks that look like the armored vehicles from Aliens, and then they're driving to get to the wherever this base, this whatever it's called. It's got a dumb acronym. It's got like a long. It's like NLOSI or something. These
tanks that they're in are definitely not all CGI.
Oh,
all the time.
Oh, every single exterior shot is CGI in this movie, and it's not terrible, but it's not good.
It's not terrible for 2004, and it's not good by any standards.
No, I will say I appreciated that it's at least not entirely like the same 4 shots over and over, because that's the kind of thing you would tend to see with like a really low budget type movie like this, where anytime you do get those exterior shots, it would be like the same 4 just like flipped or whatever. Yeah. They don't do that. They actually did like a bunch of different shots of these like CG vehicles driving around. But they get into this, they have this big, one of them like skids out of control.
Yeah, they have ice geysers that are coming up. Like this just eruption of ice coming up from like below.
And that one gets impaled by a giant icicle.
And then we get into some shitty set design where you have I swear to fucking God, this is what it was, is they got all of the discount props from Global Guts.
Do you have it? Do you have it?
Right?
Yeah. Like the rocks and stuff.
Yeah, like
the aggro crag. The super mega aggro crag.
Because they got all those props and they use those as the snow design.
Yes, absolutely. Let's kick it over to Mo for the rules. Mo!
Let's first go back to Mo for the rules. Mo!
Mike, at the sound of my whistle, our players will try to score as many goals as possible.
I love that show. Just fucking incredible. I also love Mo. Mo, if you're out there, I love you. Anyways, oh fuck. So yeah, they get impaled and he gets up there with a rope and they're getting everybody out and they do end up rescuing everybody. I love they end up rescuing everybody. So now they're all in one of these vehicles. And they spent like 20 minutes outside in the snow saving everybody. They get everybody in this one vehicle, and Dean Cain's like, I gotta get some fresh air. What? What?
I'm gonna go outside and get some fresh air.
You were just out there for a long time. And then him and the girl just like
they're also exploring houses where people are just frozen to death.
Yeah, they just like take a little leisurely stroll through the frozen apocalyptic wasteland. Yeah, and they find some dead people.
Oh, and the ADRing in this scene specifically is fucking awful.
Because the girl is like whispering.
Yeah.
And Dean Cain is like yelling.
I wanted to thank you too.
No, I'm happy to have the company.
No, for saving my life.
And they're it's all ADR, and they didn't do it at the same time. Clearly,
it's even better because like the amount of compression they had to do on Dean Cain to shrink him, and the amount of static on her because they had to increase it. Yeah, it is fucking.
That's one of those things where they definitely recorded like Dean Cain's first, and they were like, "You're out in the snow," and he's like, "Okay," so I'm like yelling over the wind, and they're like, "Yeah," and he did it, and then they did hers, and she's like, "You guys are having a quiet conversation," so she whispers it, and they're like, "Oh shit, we can't get Dean Cain back back to re-record. We just got to go with it.
Oh my God.
It's incredible.
I guess I'm not good under stress.
Well, you get better with practice. Something tells me this trip, we're gonna get plenty of practice.
That's the only thing I super noticed on that scene was like the audio on the scene is fucked.
Yeah, it's completely different levels. And then after they see those dead people, they have this weird moment where they're like face to face and they keep inching. It's like a silhouette shot and they keep inching closer and closer. And you're like, you guys gonna kiss near the dead frozen bodies? All right, great.
Well, I mean, if it's any consolation, they're not decomposing at this point.
That's true. He's also in that moment talking about his probably dead wife and child, but they're almost making out. It's so weird.
Do you think that's what his character's plan always is he talks about his dead wife or his possibly dead wife and child, and every woman's like,
this is pickup.
Man,
he's playing that sympathy
clearly
card.
He's a family man.
Family man, broken. I can fix him. I can heal him. Yeah. They get into this little submarine sled thingy.
And then the chick who banged him earlier pulled a gun on him.
For no reason. Yeah.
She called it her insurance policy.
Like, why? For what? But yeah, because I assume she means if we run into anybody, but she does point it at his head. And I was like, what are you doing? Okay, great.
Do you mind putting the gun away, please?
Let's just call it my insurance policy.
Okay.
They have no reason to not trust him right now. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't get that at all. And then so they goes cruising along in this little sled thing that I assume is jet powered, because you see it has like skis, like it looks like a sled, but there's no, I don't know how it drives.
And the only thing would be in the back.
Yeah, there's like I guess it's jet powered. I don't know. But he's driving around and they like go over a little ledge and they skid and like she's like freaking out and he's like, I just saved your life, and like nothing happened. What? But then they see in the distance, I don't remember what they see in the distance. Oh, the building they're trying to get to or something like that? They get shot at, though, at this. I don't fucking remember what happened. Yeah. And then they end up getting shot at this moment. And this movie, all of the gunfights outside in this movie is just our people shooting, and then the camera shaky quick pans the distance, and you see some muzzle flashes. Yeah. We never see enemy people. We never see anything. It's
But they drive back to the tank, and it just explodes.
Yeah. And they're like, oh no, all of our friends are dead. No, they're fine.
Yeah.
Immediately they're fine.
Yeah, and then and the rest of this basically, thankfully, we're pretty much done with the outside stuff because the rest of this takes place in tunnels.
The tunnels. Yeah, it was so stupid too because you thought that could be a good tension moment. Is they get back, they see the thing blow up, and they think they're dead, and they're like, "Well, we got to get out of here." And they go down in the tunnels, and then we have a period of time where they're on their own, and they think everybody else on their team is dead, and then maybe they reunite with them at some point in like a big dramatic moment.
Yeah, where like the Colonel and Dean Cain are like just about ready to like grabbing each other by the collar, like shooting. Oh, it's you.
Yeah, something like that. You know, they're anything like that, but no, literally they blow it up and they're like, oh no, and then they yell from off camera, we're over here, and it's like
Discount Sci-Fi Channel. If you would like to hire Brian and I as story consultants.
Jesus Christ, there's just no idea how to build tension in these movies.
Colonel Waters, you're alive?
They find a mute girl in the tunnels.
They also, this is where I talked about, they also use one of the stock, I think it's right after they get into the tunnels, they use the stock suspense sound effect, the ba-ba-ba-ba. The one that is in every the cheap free. Oh, it's amazing. But yes, they find a mute girl in the tunnels. And like I said, this movie is Aliens. They literally drop in these fucking tank things. They end up in this like abandoned like city location, and then they find a mute girl in the tunnels that leads them around. I was like, okay, you're just doing Aliens.
Yeah.
But she leads them to a group of survivors that are like living in these tunnels, basically.
Tunnel rats.
Yeah, essentially. And they meet these people and they're like, hey, we're survivors. We're hanging out here. Did you come to save us? And they're like, no, we did not. No, we did not. Good luck.
We were sent here by the government of the Provisional Northern States.
For us?
No.
But they're like, there's this doctor. They tell them about this doctor that they is with them or whatever.
But the doctor has helped us to keep things organized.
Can we talk to him?
He's not here right now. He keeps to himself.
And so they go to look for this guy, I guess, and they end up in a greenhouse. They have this giant greenhouse underground.
Well, it's not just underground. It's because like how elevation is now. it's like 20 feet of snow everywhere.
Right. Yeah.
And so like this is inside. I think this is inside that Capitol or that U.S. emissary.
Yeah, I think so. And they use mirrors or something to get the
Yeah.
light down to the plane. Yeah, they talk about like they built
The
all these
host.
mirrors. Yeah. Oh shit, you're right. It is the host. Oh fuck.
I saw evidence of humans.
But they find Anna's dad. He's
Mm-hmm.
here. He is the doctor they spoke of. He's like leading this group, and he built
By
this
the way,
greenhouse.
you could totally have a different. I think they had a different actor.
Oh,
play
he
this
could
guy.
have been.
Yeah,
He absolutely could have been because he's
has
got giant.
he has welding goggles on.
Yeah, because he's blind now for no reason.
Yeah.
I think that because there's no explanation for why he's blind or what happened. He's just like got an accident or something. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was a different actor and they like, let's just disguise it with giant goggles over his face. But he's there and I don't remember what. Oh, he explains how they were trying. He also is in control. He's in control of the laser.
Who exactly is in control of Soulstar 2 right now?
After I designed the plan, we thought it might be best that Hinze should run it.
Klaus Hinze?
My
Or the
favorite-
microwave or whatever.
Kind of in that way. So he's in control of the building. He also has like his own like private militia.
Yeah,
he's like
led by Klaus.
Yeah, and nobody else has weapons in this area. We need them to control the peace. Oh, so you're like a dictator.
Yeah.
The only people still carrying guns are the distributors. My security force.
Why exactly do you need a security force?
Yeah, and but he's trying to use, his idea is to use the microwave to slowly warm everything back up.
Yes.
But it turns out that he's been double crossed by his security guy, like Klaus or whatever, who has taken over the laser and is using it to blow people up.
He's
or
gonna blow up
whatever.
Morocco.
Yeah, because he's
gonna blow up the Capitol.
I don't really know what his motivation is. He's just
I think
evil and to start a
it's
war. Or
because
I don't
people
know.
were like either pulling funding or they weren't giving him
Yeah.
it's just credit. It's something petty and stupid.
No, actually, I'd like my life back. You know the future I was going to have? The wife, the kids, the house, the barbecue, the distinguished academic career. You don't happen to have that on you, Colonel, do you? I didn't think you did, traveling light.
Yeah, something like that. But they show up and the doctor's like, how dare you? And then a big shootout starts and Dean Cain flips a table and catches his gun and is like shooting motherfuckers.
My favorite thing is like they're doing all this shooting. This guy in the wheelchair like obviously can't move.
Yeah.
They're like working a table.
His daughter holds a metal
in front of him.
table in front of him, which does not work. He gets shot in the chest and fucking dies. So he dies, so now they got to go assault the NLOSI, whatever the fuck, the base that the microwave controls are at. So they're going to break in there.
And also now we're just down to 4 people. Dean Cain,
Colonel,
and a second in command, Colonel, dude.
Yeah.
And entirely because like, all right, we can't afford to hire or to keep any of the other actors from now on. So like,
it's just those 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody else, you stay behind. And so I don't even understand how this happens. She walks into this base, the second in command girl, the blonde. Again, I don't even know if they ever say her name.
This is Sarah Henley. She's ex-SAS with the Brits. She's been selected as my second in command.
I'm sure they do. But she walks into the base and she walks past the security guard and he just looks at her. And then she turns around and goes, yeah, I do have a nice ass. And then he gets like, one of the other guys knocks him out.
How did it go?
Perfectly. Oh yeah, I do have a nice ass.
But I don't understand what she was, how the guard just let her pass. Was she dressed like them? They're not wearing any uniforms.
Yeah.
They're just, she's in like a green coat.
yeah, well, they all,
they're just wearing like parkas and shit. I don't.
Yeah, much like Derelict in Zoolander.
Yeah.
They all look like trash hobos.
I can derelict my own balls. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, they're surviving in the post-apocalypse.
Yeah.
They're doing what they can. But yeah, I didn't understand. She's not wearing a special outfit that I noticed that would make her look like one of them. Also, there's only like 10 of them. You would recognize the people that are like, there's not that many of you. How do you, this random woman shows up and you just let her walk by. Okay, great.
All right.
And again, it happens multiple times where they're like, I guess they're fooled by the green jacket our guys are wearing. Dean Cain has this moment where he trips a guy on the stairs and the guy just falls down the stairs and he's like, rifle butt. It's fucking stupid. So they show up at the room. This is the big control room from the beginning of the movie. And they're like, it's Klaus. And I'm like, again, this is the moment
spying
where,
on them the whole time,
like,
even though he hasn't done anything.
Yeah. Who is this guy?
Yeah, exactly.
Who? Oh, and then it's the guy, the scientist from the beginning of the movie. he got abandoned there or something. I don't even remember. He's upset. He's mad now. And he's got like freezer burn or his face is kind of like he's got some sort of
Wind
scarring.
burn, right?
Yeah,
Or
wind burned or something like that. He's got some kind of scarring on his face. And he's playing a completely over the top like psycho villain.
Okay, I'd like to travel the world, help children, and open a boutique.
No, actually, I'd like my life back.
Like you've gone nuts. Oh, okay, so you want me to play like Joker or something?
Literally, I was like, they wanted Mark Hamill for this role, and they couldn't get because this guy actually kind of looks like Mark Hamill a little bit, especially in this scenes at the end. Like I was getting strong.
Could you imagine
poor
if we
man's
would've
Mark
got-
Hamill vibes?
Could you imagine if we would have got Joker laugh in this with Mark Hamill?
This movie would have been elevated beyond all compare if this character was played by Mark Hamill. This would have been fucking amazing.
But he's wanting to blow up the Morocco because that's where the capital is or whatever, and some other spots. Because he can just space laser.
We've got less than 2 hours before that nut bar has enough power to blow up Tangier.
Yeah, and they're trying to hack into his room to get in there to stop him. And they can't figure out, they can't hack in. And Anna, they're like, you got to remember the password. And she's like, I don't know what it is. I'll try a million things. And then she's like,
her dad kept saying, remember. Remember.
And she's like, wait a minute.
Remember what?
You always told me to remember.
REMEMBER. Remember. And it works.
And
I was like, fuck!
And then they just run in and shoot the guy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So they run in, and the blonde chick just lights him up, just unloads into his fucking chest, and they kill him, and they start, taking down the satellite or whatever. And as that's happening,
Dean Cain has to go off for fuck all reason.
I don't even know why he leaves.
Because he can't be in there while she kills the colonel, dude.
Because then, surprise twist, the second in command lady is also evil. She's not working with them. She just has her own motivations, which is like, I'm going to start a war because this is all bullshit. I don't even know. Again,
it was something about oil prices because why not?
The Arabs have raised the price of gas to nearly $100 a gallon. They're squeezing us because they know 2/3 of the world is hidden under ice and needs the energy.
Sure, I don't. This movie doesn't care about any of that stuff. And yeah, she's gonna start a war because she wants to, and then the power vacuum. I don't even know. So she murders the colonel, and now she has Anna hostage and is forcing her to shoot the laser at Tangier or whatever.
And then Dean Cain, who was busy like taking a piss outside or something like that.
I think he was doing something with the satellite. Like he had to do something in another room or whatever. But he comes back. And I love this moment when he comes back and he realizes she's being held hostage from outside the room. He comes in and he has a clear shot on the blonde woman.
Yeah.
But instead of shooting her, he throws his coat at her and then runs and hides behind the desk so they can shoot at each other. It makes no sense. He could have just killed her and he doesn't for no reason. And then they start shooting. He puts his gun down because she's got a gun on Anna, and he's like, all right, I'll put my gun down. And then she just starts shooting them both.
Dean Cain gets shot in like both legs, both
the
arms.
shoulders, yeah. She like kneecaps both of them. She kneecaps Anna at one point. Just putting bullets in both of them. And then and then they get out in the hallway somehow. I don't remember what happens, but he get out in the hallway and they get into a fight. And they get into a fist fight. And she does the dumbest. She
charges him, right?
Well, but before that, she gets a knife out and she's doing the stupid movie knife thing that I hate where you throw it back and forth between your hands. And I'm like, why? Why does people do that in movies? It makes no sense. I'm sure some person's gonna be like, no, actually, if you do that,
you have a higher chance of dropping it.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, there's no way that's a good idea to do in a knife fight, but whatever. But she charges him and he just like pirouettes and throws her out a window.
Yeah. And she falls like 5 stories.
Yeah. And survives.
Because everything's made of snow.
Snow, yeah. Cushioned her fall. I also love it. So after she falls out the window, he runs back into the control room and he's talking to Anna. And I love the way the control room was set decorated. They're like, guys, we need this to look like a technology room. What do we have? And they're like, this guy's like, I got like 8 old PSUs sitting, and there's just like old power supplies, like just sitting on counters and shit everywhere. That's how they it's a tech room. It's so fucking dumb. And Dean Cain also tourniquets his arm at one point, like it's just no big deal. He's like, "Oh, I'll just put a tourniquet on my arm." Yeah, it's like, bro, you know when you put a tourniquet on, you have a limited amount of time to do something about that before your fucking arm is gonna become a really big problem. You don't just throw a tourniquet on and leave it there and you're fine. That's not how tourniquets work. But okay, great. But oh no, they're leaving and she's still alive, and we get another stupid fight.
Now they have to get to like the satellite control, like manual controls or something.
Yeah,
like
it's in some like
they have to shut it. They have to shut something down.
Who cares? And so they're going there, and then she shows up again.
Yeah, it's just an excuse for there to be a fight on a catwalk.
Another fight, but she ends up being shot by Anna.
Yeah.
Anna gets a gun and shoots her, and she falls off the railing. And I love it.
It goes full GoldenEye here for a second.
She falls off the railing, lands.
And she looks pretty dead.
Yeah.
Right?
But the movie's like, nah, not dead enough.
No.
Giant icicle falls off the ceiling and impales her. It's great. That's the best moment.
For England, James?
No, for me. And I love too, after she shoots that woman and she falls off and dies, and then Anna runs up to Dean Cain and she's talking to him and is immediately like horny for him.
Yeah.
It's like, you just murdered a person, and she's like, I'm gonna show you what's what later.
Whoa.
It's like, whoa, Dean.
Game of Thrones has told us anything. It's after you kill somebody, what you need is some bedding.
You need a woman? Nothing like a woman after a fight.
This is, I was just, that feels like a red flag to me. If immediately after murdering a person, the person's like, I'm rearing to go, I'd be like, maybe take a beat and reevaluate that relationship.
Bloodlust.
So then they're leaving, and they just stumble across his old house.
Yeah, they do. He walks in, finds a letter written by his wife. It gives him a little bit of hope because at least she was there to write it.
Yeah.
But then he goes into their room, and they're just fucking dead.
Yeah, they're just dead,
Icicles.
frozen on the bed. And here's the thing that's wild to me. I thought the whole time that the mute girl they found was going to end up being his daughter. Was that because it's been 3 years since he's seen her, and she was like she was like 2 or something at the time, and now she's maybe 5 or 6, that she's changed enough, and she's also wearing like hats and stuff that maybe he doesn't recognize her because it's just been a long enough time and she's aged so much. And she's mute, so he doesn't hear her. She never says her name. They ask her name numerous times. She never responds. I'm like, oh, that's going to be his daughter. That's going to end up being his daughter.
Nope.
The mom's dead. That's his daughter. No, it's not. It's just a random little girl who becomes his new daughter. This movie is like, oh, no, your wife and daughter are dead. It's okay. We got you replacements. You got replacements now.
And also the sun's coming out because we shot a microwave to Earth.
Yeah, they do the thing that the doctor wanted to, and they warm it up, and it stops snowing. The sun comes out. Happy ending. Everybody smiles. Just ignore that your wife and daughter froze to death.
We can turn this off, right?
Oh no! Oh no! It's stuck on. It's all slowly microwaved to death. So yeah, it's. I was really surprised that it wasn't his daughter. That it was just some random little girl. But whatever.
Just a little FU at the end of this movie.
Yeah. It is a weird. I mean, I guess it's hopeful in the sense that they save the day and they warm the Earth back up. But it does feel a bit strange for this type of movie to end on such a down note, finding his dead wife and child frozen to death. I feel like that should have been like towards the end of the second act. That's where it would fit better,
because it would also put him at his lowest point.
That's what I mean. Yeah, you put that low point at the end of like the second act, as opposed to like the denouement of the movie. I was like, why is it there? All right, great. It makes so much sense earlier, but sure, fine.
This movie is...
And because here's the thing. You put it in the end of the second act, it's his low point, but then you give him now, he has his new, this new woman and the new child that gives him something to fight for, because he doesn't have... He needs to save them because they're his only family now.
Once again, if anybody would like to hire Brian and I, I'd like to hire Brian and I as story consultants.
It's so easy. How do they fuck this shit up? I have no idea. Anyways, I don't know if is it good? I don't know, man.
Know. It's the only part that's like really like neck jerking, like what the fuck was that? Was immediately banging that chick in the shower.
Yeah, and there's some weird, wacky like the icicle impaling and stuff. I will. You know what? I'll say it's good bad, and the reason I'll say it's good bad is because it's not a particularly boring movie, and it's not terribly done. It's not good, but it's not terribly done.
Yeah.
So I was moderately entertained throughout, but not necessarily in like a good bad way. Just in like a it's okay, and then there's some fun moments.
And you can watch a bunch of sets that were recycled from sci-fi shows.
Yeah, absolutely. They just bought old sets that were never used, like I said, on like Babylon 5 and shit. Anyways, we'll go with good bad, but it's all right.
That was good.
As always, you can do us a giant favor. Support us on patreon.com/GBorBB. $2, $5, $10, whatever bucks a month. You get access to different things when you do a podcast real bad.
Yeah.
Also, we have merch. Go to tpublic.com and search for Good Bad or Bad Bad. You can find our t-shirts and you can get whatever you want. All kinds of different merch there. Coffee mugs, pillows. Sky's the limit.
Masks that are like weirdly folded.
I haven't used one. I haven't, no.
Like I saw my friend got one, and it was the design, but then it was folded like the masks are, so the entire image just collapsed.
Interesting. Yeah, I have not seen how the masks look on. I have a podcast called This Film Was Lit. We're talking about movies that are based on books. When this is out, the most recent episode will have been Jumanji.
That was a book?
It was like a children's book, yeah. Oh, okay. Like a kid, like a little like picture book. But yeah, it was barely based on
Did somebody still spend like 30 years in the jungle?
I don't know. I'll find out on the episode. We haven't recorded it yet, so that will be one of my questions.
Interviewing monsters and Bigfoot.
Yes.
You can watch that on various things. Link in the description below.
Yep.
I know it's on Amazon at least, and it was a wild experience. For sure.
It's a fun ass movie. Maybe fair for the show one day. We'll see. Also, occasionally we Twitch stream twitch.tv GBorBB_Brian or Brian_GB. I don't remember.
GBorBB_Brian, GBorBB_Kyle.
Yeah. So you can follow us there and occasionally we'll stream.
You can definitely watch me stream some Hitman 3 come January.
There you go. And until that time, keep watching movies.
Especially post-impact.
Sure, go for it. It's fine. It's fine.
Wouldn't be worse than what's on Sci-Fi right now.
Do they still make movies?
I don't know.
They do all TV now, and I actually like some of their TV shows, but I don't know if they're doing movies anymore, like the same kind of, like the old Sci-Fi.
Like
I don't know if they do.
Style. Just because it was kind of cheesy and shitty.
Yeah. I don't know if they still make movies.
All right, bye everybody.